Welcome back. All right, we're in between the second and third period in the game between Vancouver and Seattle, and I figure I'm going to review these four games, get that posted online. So it's relatively early getting posted. We've got 8 games tomorrow. It's going to be an easier day for me tomorrow. It's a long day. A lot of hockey. All right, so starting things off, Pittsburgh and Buffalo. And this might be the big surprise one of the big surprises today. There were some surprise results. We'll get into that third game on the board. Nedeljkovic versus Luukkonen in this one. Good early back and forth. Okposo hits the post. Tuck has a net feed. That's blocked and cleared. Okposo's denied and close. Kyle Okposo was all around it in this one. Gergensen fires one wide on a rush. Crosby has a chance that's held as the Penguins press. The shots are 3 apiece at 8 minutes. Gergensen then has a shot that's held. He was all over too until he wasn't. Dahlin flattens O'Connor. We get a press by the Penguins with 7.5 minutes left. There's a power play for the Sabres. That's killed off. The Sabres press after it ends, but it's a turnover that puts Pittsburgh on the board first. It's Crosby from Gensel at 16:46. So after the first period, it's 1-0 Pittsburgh. Second period, early chances for the Penguins. The Sabres press at 2.5 minutes. Yoki Haru has a shot that deflects wide. The shots are 3-1 Penguins. 4.5 minutes in, we get a power play for Buffalo. Dahlin has a shot that misses high. That power play's killed off. Letang had a screenshot that was held. We get some punching after that. And then Letang and Krebs chirp in the box. A lot of, what are you doing? What were you doing? What's your problem? You want to talk about a problem. So yeah, it's 4-4. Sabres press during the 4-on-4. The shots are 6-5 Penguins with 8 minutes left. There's a press by the Sabres. They're kept to the outside. Nieto to Achari. That's blocked. The Sabres rush. We get a power play for the Penguins. Nylander has a chance that's held. That power play is killed off. And then it's another turnover. Pittsburgh scores again. It's Eller from Nieto at 16:44. Just Dahlin whiffed on it. And it goes right to Nieto, who puts it to Eller. And it's bar down. So Lars Eller with a nice one. It's 2-0 after 2 periods in favor of the Penguins. Third period, it had been over 106 minutes of no goals on Nedeljkovic. It would not stay that way. Early press by the Penguins. No Gergensen's on the Sabres bench. Did not return. Gensel can't bury one in close. Tuck is robbed on a 2-0. The fans call one. The referee doesn't. Shortly after, though, the Sabres do get a power play. I've noticed that there are plenty of games where the fans are like, come on, there's a penalty, and the referee doesn't call it. But the next infraction, they do call. So Skinner scores on that power play at 5:13 from Tuck and Olofsson. He roofs it from in close. And then at 10:52, Buffalo ties the game. It's Okposo from Dahlin and Olofsson, and that one goes in off Erik Karlsson's stick. So that ties the game up. Skinner then fires one high on a 3-on-2 with 6:31 left. The Penguins get a power play. Buffalo kills that off. 3 shots on that power play. Malkin's denied as the Penguins press, and then Tuck buries one in close from Skinner and Middlestat at 17:16. The goalie pull takes place with a minute and a half left, but with 23.7 seconds left, the Sabres get a power play to end it. They win this one 3-2. They go to 9-9-2 on the season. Pittsburgh drops to 9-10 on the year. Shots on net, 11 apiece in the first, 11-9 Pittsburgh in the second, 14-11 Buffalo in the third. Final shots 34-33 for the Buffalo Sabres. Power plays, Pittsburgh 0-2, Buffalo 1-4. The hits 20-16 for Pittsburgh. Nedeljkovic saves 31 out of 34. Luukkonen saves 31 out of 33. All right, next up, the Islanders and the Ottawa Senators. So now we get into the part where road teams have had a pretty good day. So it's Varlamov versus Forsberg. The Sens had the only shot on net 2.5 minutes in, kind of a chess match to start. There's a near miss for Norris on a one-timer. Pelech exits. It would have been a huge loss. He came back in, though. Aho gets shaken up along the boards, but he would come back into the game, I believe, as well. Both teams blocking, back-checking. Horvat has a rush chance. That's held. The Islanders press at 8.5 minutes. The Sabres get a power play, and they score on it. It is Batherson. It's a one-timer from the slot. It's a good cycle by Ottawa. Tkachuk and Norris with the assists at 10:25. Chartier's then denied on the next shift, so it looks like the Sens are off and running. The Islanders press with 7.5 minutes left. Eventually, Palmieri buries a rebound at 13:55. Romanov and Nelson with the assists ties the game at 1. The Islanders then press for the lead, I should say. We have a power play then drawn by the Sens. Tkachuk's denied. Tarasenko was denied later in the power play as well. That's killed off. After the first period, the score's tied at 1. Second period, where all the goal scoring seemed to be located. So Norris has a shot that's blocked as Senators press. Batherson has a shot that's held. The shots are 4-0 Ottawa, 5.5 minutes in. Senators score, but that goal comes back. Romanov has a screenshot that's saved, and then Wahlstrom scores at 6:32. That makes the score 2-1 for the Islanders. They then get a power play, and they score on it. It's Barzal from Palmieri at 9:51. Barzal was smart there. He shot it stick side because he noticed that Forsberg was minus his stick on the play. And then 6 seconds later, clearly on a rush, Lee scores from Wahlstrom at 9:57. I was surprised there was no timeout called by the Ottawa Senators. Then at 10:56, so 59 seconds later, Stützle scores from Joseph, roofs it in close. And then at 11:43, less than a minute after that, it is Batherson from Joseph and Stützle. So this game is suddenly 4-3. Now, what's interesting is it's a good forecheck that leads to the goal, and then the Islanders call a timeout. So Lane Lambert calls a timeout to turn things around. The Senators are pressed again with a minute and a half left, as I was terrified to take too many notes in case this board filled up, because there was a lot of goals there, but it's 4-3 Islanders after 2. Third period, Senators press at 3 minutes. Giroux with a near miss. There's more pressure, and then Holmstrom makes it a 5-3 lead. He scores from Dobson and Mayfield at 5:16. Giroux then has a one-timer from the slot. That's fired wide. Stützle to Giroux gets blocked. The Islanders press. They're kept to the outside. 7 minutes left. The Senators have managed one shot on net. They had zone time. They had pressure. Could not hit the net. 6:13 left. The Sens get a power play. Norris fires one high. That's killed off. In the final minute, Stützle is denied. Ottawa had plenty of opportunities late. They just couldn't get it. So your final score, 5-3. The Islanders have won again. They're now 8-6-5 on the season. The Sens drop to 8-8. Shots on net, 12-10 Islanders in the first, 11-9 Ottawa in the second, 10-5 Ottawa in the third. They do outshoot the Islanders 31-26. Power plays, the Islanders scored on the only one they had. Ottawa was 1 for 3. The hits 18-15 Ottawa. Varlamov saves 28 out of 31. Forsberg saves 21 out of 26. So, yeah. And this is the one I think everybody's going to go to. Tampa Bay and Carolina. What in the world was that goaltending? So, Vasil, like they just kind of, well, we'll just throw it at the net. Oh, that one's in. Huh, interesting. So, Vasilevsky versus Ranta. Drury has a shot that's kicked aside on a turnover. Fast first minutes, just the one shot for the Canes. It was not an exciting first period for the most part. Paul has a pass that's picked off. Canes rush. Svechnikov has a shot that's held. Halfway through, the shots are 4-0 Carolina. Neither team with much room with the puck until late. It's a one-timer on a nice pass from behind the net by Jack Drury. Nason scores from Drury and Bunting at 18-12. So it's 1-0 Carolina after the first. Yeah, the final score, you'd be surprised by that, wouldn't you, if you didn't watch it? Second period, early power play for the Bolts. Stahl has the shorthanded 2-on-1 chance that's saved, and then it is Stamkos from Kucherov and point at 1:34. It's a one-timer far corner. Aho's then denied as the Canes press. Vasilevsky holds. Bolts go back to the power play. The ref sucks because of this. There's a shorthanded Aho chance. That's defended. And then Kucherov scores from Hagel and Asimont at 5:40. That is on the power play as well. It's a good pass. It's buried. The Bolts then get a 4-minute power play, which takes 4 seconds for them to score on. It's point from Kucherov and Hedman at 5:52. He puts it into an empty net. So that's 3 goals on 3 second period shots. So the other penalty there was then killed off. Chatfield has a net drive. That's defended. The shots are 5-3 for Tampa Bay with 9.5 minutes left. So Ronta had a couple of saves in there. I had Doug McLean in my head the whole game. Ronta needs to make a save. Power play for the Canes. The fans are restless as they can't set up. That's right. I remember that. It doesn't matter. It's just it gets stuck there. If you were watching the game, you might have thought it yourself if you're like a longtime viewer of the channel. But yeah, so that power play ends up being killed off while the fans are getting kind of angry at the Canes at this point. Sergachev, Nason are unfriendly. Watson with a penalty on the play, so the Canes with a power play, and they score on it. It is Bunting scoring from Svechnikov and Kotkaniemi at 14:45. The Canes then press to tie it. Orlov has a blast that's saved. It's cleared out. 2:32 left. Carolina with a power play. That's killed off. After the second period, it is 3-2 for Tampa. It's close. So third period, Canes picking off passes early. Sergachev breaks up a 2-on-1. The Bolts press. The Canes, though, they block. They rush. Canes press at 4 minutes, but at 5:33, it's a one-timer from the right circle, and one-timers being a little bit generous, so it was kind of a snapshot. It was kind of flung at the net. Hagel from point and Kucherov. So suddenly it's 5-2. And then at 6:52, Glendenning gets one. That's the 5th goal on 11 shots. I will say, though, there's a shot that got taken out from what I was tracking during the game, what they were showing during the game. So might have been 5 goals on 10 shots. We get a power play for the Canes. There's a near miss for Svechnikov. That's killed off. And then at 10:41 on a backhand, point scores from Perbix and Koepke. And Koepke was the one, or Perbix was the one, I should say, who had been in the box previously. Canes go back to the power play. That's killed off. And then, kind of on an end-to-end rush, Kucherov scores at 16:45. That was 7 goals on 14 shots, again, to that point. 2:43 left. There's a Bolts power play, and Braden Point scores a hat-trick goal on shot 15, what was shot 15 at the time. Kucherov and Stamkos with the assists at 18:08. Your final score is 8-2 for Tampa Bay. They go to 10-6-5. When I said Tampa Bay would probably be freed up more offensively by the return of Vasilevsky, this wasn't what I meant. Carolina drops to 11-8. I checked, it's only one game this counts for. Shots on net, 8-1 Carolina in the first, 12-6 Carolina in the second, 7-4 Tampa Bay in the third. Final shots are actually 24-14 for Carolina. Power plays, Tampa Bay 4 for 5, Carolina 1 for 6. By what I track, it looks like it was just the second half of that double minor that they killed off. Hits were 18-4 for Tampa. Vasilevsky, 22 saves on 24 shots. Good numbers in his return. Ronta saved 6 out of 14. His save percentage was .429. So I don't know that I've ever seen that from a National Hockey. And I'm not being facetious or sarcastic. I don't know that I've seen that before in a full game, that a goaltender saves less than half the shots and does not get pulled. I don't know that I've ever seen that. So you guys can let me know, but I think that's a first. And Tampa Bay, got to feel good coming out of that one, don't they? All right, last game on this board. And yes, my wife's a very happy camper tonight. I'm not. We'll get to the other board when I do the final review later. And of course, Boston didn't play well today. So Hellebuck versus Bobrovsky in this one. Early edge for Florida. Janssen Fjallby has a shot that deflects out. We get a power play for the Jets. It was a late hit by Cousins. I thought it was a dumb penalty by Cousins, honestly. Like, it wasn't a dangerous hit, but it was clearly a penalty, and I didn't see the point in delivering the hit there. So, at any rate, I thought it was a dumb penalty. That's why I took note of who committed it, so I remember when I was doing the review here. So, we have a shorthanded rush by Reinhart that's defended. Niederreiter has a rush chance that's held. That power play's killed off. Shots are 4-2 for the Jets with 8.5 minutes left. Panthers press with 8 minutes left. There's a near miss by Bennett. Barkov then has a shot that's held. Scheifele can't bury one in close. And then from behind the net, Niederreiter ends up, or no, from behind Bobrovsky. So the puck goes behind him. I think he thought he had it, and Niederreiter pokes it in. So that's a goal from Sandberg and Appleton at 17:43. It's 1-0 for the Jets. There's a near miss by Lowry, who fires one wide on the rush. Adam Lowry's pretty good offensively this year, if you haven't been watching. 1:53 left, the Jets get the power play. So that kind of rolls over into the second period. It's just 7 seconds, so they kill that off. Early press by the Jets in the second. Connors denied on a rush. The Jets dangerous in transition today. It's as if they knew they were against the Panthers, a fast team that's very good in transition, and like, yeah, we accept the challenge. We will win. So the shots are 5 apiece at 7 minutes. Get a power play for the Panthers. Montour has a screenshot that saved. The power play's killed off. 2 shots for Florida on that power play. Panthers press after it ends. We end up with 2 minutes of 4-on-4. 32.7 seconds left. We have another 2 minutes of 4-on-4s. These teams kind of go back and forth on that. Panthers press to close it out. So after the second period, it's still 1-0. This game very close. We know Florida's capable of scoring a bunch of goals in rapid fashion. Shots are 4-2 for the Jets at the 3:30 mark of the third period. Scheifele has a net feed. That save. Dillon can't bury one on a rush. Lowry's denied in alone. The Panthers press at the 9-minute mark, but then at 11:15, absolute beast mode goal. And I know I haven't written a beast mode goal this year because this is the best one I've seen. And again, beast mode just means the player takes the puck and goes, yeah, I'm going to do it myself. And just skates around and there you go. Ehlers from Perfetti, top corner, beautiful goal, makes it 2-0. And the best part was Ehlers on the bench seemingly couldn't believe he did it either. Like, he looked shocked that he did that. Like, he was impressed that happened. We get 2 minutes of 4-on-4 because that's how this game rolls. Goalie pull happens with 5 minutes left. There's a power play for the Panthers with 4:27 left, so that means it's a 6-on-4 which means it's an empty net shorthanded goal by Lowry from Appleton and Sandberg at 16-11. And then the Jets finish the kill, and most importantly, they keep this shutout. They win 3-0. They go to 12-5-2. Yes, they're moving up the power rankings board. Yes, all of my teams are dropping in the power rankings. For Florida, they are 12-7-1 on the season. Shots on net, 8-6 Winnipeg in the first, 12-11 Florida in the second, 14-13 Florida in the third. Final shots were 32-32. Power plays, both teams go 0 for 2. The hits, 14-8 Florida. Hellebuck saves all 32 shots for the shutout, and Bobrovsky saves 29 out of 32 at the other end. So there's your Tony the Tiger. I didn't put the No Mercy magnet on here, so let me just take a second here. You just grab one here. Just gonna take the No Mercy magnet and just I'll put this. See, it doesn't really fit. This is part of the problem I have, is these are huge. They don't really fit with the numbers. So I'll put it at the bottom. There's your No Mercy. Yeah, Ronta's got to get that save percentage above 429. It's a good batting average. It's not a good save percentage. All right, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.